What's going on with China? Are they going to take Taiwan in 2027 and start World War III?
Homie, I have no idea.
You don't talk to your friends over there that like, hey,
That are in
here's
on the
what's
secret
happening.
government plans.
Yeah, what's the secret government plans?
Dude, I have no idea what's going on in China. It was interesting. So I don't know if you were on TikTok when TikTok went down or was going to get shut down. And then everybody on TikTok sort of switched over to Heilongjiang. They've switched over to Red Note, which is like a Chinese version of TikTok, right? And so it was amazing because all of these Americans were now on Chinese TikTok with a lot of like Chinese people, and everybody was seeing that the standard of living in China is way higher than it is in America.
Really?
That the technology in China is way better than it is in America, and that the people of China are just absolutely lovely, like lovely. I loved being in China. It was one of the most impactful things I've ever done in my life. And the propaganda that we're sold about China as Americans is really disturbing, because certainly we may have issues with their government and some of their decisions. I also have issues with our government and many of our decisions.
Absolutely.
But the people of China are beautiful, loving, brilliant, kind, incredibly generous people. So it was really wonderful to get to see so many Americans actually getting to experience that and having that direct communication between the cultures in a way that I don't think has ever happened before.
This podcast is brought to you by B Micro, a company I'm deeply passionate about because I founded it in 2018. It's USDA organic freeze-dried microgreens for everyday nutrition and detox. Sprinkle them on any meal or take them as a capsule to enjoy the many healthy benefits. Shop now at bmicro.farm. Use code STEVE15 to save. What do you think the people in China are living in a good way, and what are they giving up though to live in that good way? Because it's a bit of I don't know what it's called, a dictatorship where it's like, hey, there's one party and this is how it goes. Yeah.
You think there's two parties here?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. We have the illusion.
No, I think China has actually, I think China is to me, I'm not somebody who goes into politics very much at all. I try and stay in my lane. But my understanding is that China has actually taken the taxes and the money that they're taking from the people and reinvested them into the infrastructure for the people in China.
You mean they don't turn them into bombs and then shoot billions and trillions of dollars worth of those bombs all over the world?
No, but somehow they're the bad guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it seems like they really actually do take care of their people to some degree. Again, I'm sure there's a tremendous amount of issues with the government. But, if we look at the politics in America, they're spending all of our money on things that your average American do not support, whether you're on the left or whether you're on the right, which I largely think is a false dichotomy. I think it's,
yeah, the
two
left
sides of
and
the
the
same
right,
coin.
the left and the right have more in common with each other than they have in common with us.
Yeah. And I think that that's a cool part of society right now and an interesting and hopeful perspective if more people wake up to the fact that it is not left or right, but that it is the haves and the have-nots, and that the difference between the people who are really winning and doing well is so dramatically obscene. And the people who are just average, everyday people just trying to work and live and take care of their families, it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And I do not see that trajectory changing anytime soon. So let's upend the government, people.
Yeah, what do we do? Who do you like? Is there anyone that you like right now? If there was someone to run for president 2028, is it about voting locally here in Boulder? I've had the mayor of Boulder on as well, very left-leaning, very well-spoken, really media trained, very well-spoken. And we live in a very left-leaning state, super blue. And is there anyone that you like out there right now?
Not really. I've always loved much of Bernie's platforms. I agree with him on a lot of things. There are bits and pieces of different politicians that seem really on point. I do think right now it seems that the Israel connection to our politicians is quite confusing and disturbing. There's
I'm
a lot of
so
scary
glad it's
rabbit
coming to light
holes.
so much now and everyone's
It's
talking about it. It's
wild.
like they have our government captured.
Yeah,
And what they're doing in Gaza is out of control.
it's horrific. I mean, the fact that our politicians continue to ignore that, the fact that we're funding this.
And they're okay with it. I mean, they're torturing children. They're just and laughing about it. It's disgusting. It's really like satanic what is happening over there.
Well, and it's hard as a person with a conscience who cares a particular amount about children when you're watching this and you're like, how can I possibly help? Like, what can we do? And I think one of a movement that I see coming forward that I think will really impact the political climate will be, voting out politicians who take APAC money. I think that's going to be a really huge litmus test coming up, because I think if people are taking APAC money, I think there's a lot of people
captured.
out here who are not interested in voting for them and having them represent us.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's podcast, B Micro, the easiest way to sneak vegetables into any meal. Due to soil depletion, GMOs, and monocropping, Americans are not getting enough nutrients. So in 2018, I founded B Micro, the first freeze-dried microgreens company in the US to help Americans get more concentrated natural nutrients into their diet. Microgreens are a phase in the plant's life when they're 14 days old and naturally the most concentrated in vitamins, minerals, nutrients, all the good things that we need. Our microgreens are grown here in the US in soil in a greenhouse. They're certified USDA organic and regenerative organic. We grow, wash, and freeze dry them to extend their 1 week shelf life to over 1 year, allowing us to ship anywhere in the US without the worry of spoilage. We have 2 flavors, broccoli, backed by over 2,000 studies on sulforaphane and its powerful detox benefits, and a blend of red cabbage, radish, and broccoli, the most potent detox formula we've tested, offering you the most bang for your buck. Easily sneak these microgreens in any meal. Eggs, smoothies, pizza, pasta, even your kids' mac and cheese, you can't even taste it. Use code STEVE15 to save at bmicro.farm. I saw something like 95% of politicians are taking APAC money, which is like the lobby for Israel.
Yeah.
And they're very ingrained. I mean, they're very ingrained into our politicians, and we give them a lot of money. And what are they doing with that money? And I don't know. Netanyahu, is that how you say his name? He is, I mean, he's a war criminal. As soon as these wars end, he's a psychopath. As soon as these wars end, he's going to go to jail. So he is like motivated to keep these wars going because then he doesn't have to go to jail.
It's so scary.
And there's so many people closed-minded. I just spoke with somebody recently who's like, oh, but the Israel got a bunch of October 7th. And it's like, okay. And there's some funny business around that too.
Oh, yeah.
Where Netanyahu wouldn't even let his government look into the acts. So there was like a stand down on that day by the Israeli military, and there's a lot of funny business. You know, there's false flags. Like, hey, let's have something happen that gives us a great reason, like a 9/11 type of situation that gives us a reason to then go to war. And it's like, okay, there's some bad people over in Gaza, but do you have to completely destroy all of it and kill 60,000 people to get those couple hundred bad guys or whatever it is? There isn't a better way. You have to kill the kids.
You have to kill everybody.
You have to kill everyone. And then Trump's putting out videos where he's like, how he's going to make Trump Towers in Gaza. It's like they want to turn it into like high-end real estate and just grab it. I think that's it's very unusual what's happening, and I'm very pro America in getting other countries' hands out of our government.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope, America's seems to be just completely captured at this point. I would hope that other countries will do more to help Palestine, and I hope that Americans are able to step up to shift the trajectory that we're on, because I think that this country was built on foundations that are truly beautiful and aspirational. And I think we've gotten so far away from that reality. And so much of that has to do with greed and people who have gotten money and have gotten power and have just bastardized the regulations so they can get more and more and more and more. And it's really disturbing because it's coming at the cost of not only the Palestinian people, but it's also locally, like people in America are struggling. Like I don't think I think they just announced that they're not going to be putting out food stamps next month because of the government shutdown. Food stamps are essential for people. I was on food stamps after I got divorced. I lost my business and Remy was in the diagnosis phase and I had no income and I was trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Like it was a really hard time in my life. And that was very helpful for me to be able to make sure that my kid was getting the quality of food that he needed to take care of him. And so I could focus on figuring out how to rebuild my life. Like people need food stamps. Not
A
only
safety
that,
net. We
a
can't let these
safety
people
net. We
fall
need a
all the
safety
way.
net. I have friends who are in their 60s who have worked their entire lives, whose jobs are sort of questionable right now as we're leaning towards a recession and potentially a ton of layoffs. And they don't have the money saved that they're going to need to support themselves. And Social Security, if it even exists over the next 5 to 10 years, is certainly not enough to take care of people. And these are people who have been paying into the system for years. And while we're funding shit that is not supporting us whatsoever, or our values or ideals as a country.
Yeah, it seems like just a ton of money is being stolen and we're racking up incredible debt along the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what the IRS, what is it? The Pentagon has failed every audit for the past 5 years or something to
They got
the
all
tune
these,
of billions of dollars.
all these black box programs, and it's just these people that seem like they've just been stealing money forever.
Yeah.
Where's
And
it
it's
all
just
going?
completely unchecked.
Yeah.
I'll owe $200 to the IRS. I'll get 4 bills. I'm like,
Yes.
hey, bud,
Yep,
maybe
and
look somewhere
penalties,
else.
and they're like,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm like, go check on real money.
Yeah, right. Forget my $200.
Yeah, what are you wasting your time on this for? Go and do something else. So it's, I think Americans, I think again, if we come back to realizing that it is unfortunately sort of us versus them, the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots can vary, but I think as people we need to come together and really do something dramatic to shift the tide, because these politicians have shown that they're not going to do it unless we force their hand.